For a woman, from my understanding, sex is 90% in your head. Your body is changing. Like, this body is not the body of a 22-year-old bride. And things that used to live in Maine now live in New Mexico. It's just the situation, okay? And their bodies change too. It's not going to be what it was. You have to go for quality over quantity. When you have a lot less time in front of you than behind you, like, your priorities change. Every time that we're able to be with one another, I think of it as miraculous. You know, it's like everything still works. And it's beautiful. Early in our marriage, I found he was addicted to pornography. And out of fear of losing him, I entered that addiction with him. So there's a lot of trauma in our marriage around that intimate act. But now he's been sober for 25 years, as have I. That's God. He has restored our marriage bed, and he's restored that relationship. And so now it is even more precious to us, not just because we're aging, but because we fought for it.
That's too funny. Mary, I love that you're in DC right now. I'm
Right
in
outside
Houston.
of DC. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right outside of DC. See, and I'm outside of Houston, but I just say Houston because
So we're actually in Fairfax. So we're in Virginia. We're on this
that's a
side. We're on
whole
the Virginia
thing.
side of it. Yeah, it's a whole thing.
Oh, okay. Well, okay. So what is the weather like there now? Because I like watching what is happening to that side of the country. It's kind of like we're a little chilly today. You guys, do we have snow? What's happening?
So last week, there was a day where it started at 65 degrees. Sun was out, a beautiful, cool spring breeze. By noon, we had snow.
No.
By 6 p.m., we had almost 1.5 inches of snow. And then by 8 p.m., no snow. And it was going back up to like 50 degrees. So yesterday, we had a tornado warnings locally. Thank God. One touchdown, but like 45 minutes from us. And then all of our plants froze. And so today it's cold. So I think that Mother Nature is a little drunk. I think she hit the bar early and she's just having a good time.
That is nuts. Okay, so it's so funny. I love anytime you talk to anybody, no matter where they live in the United States, they're like, oh, our weather's so crazy. We're so crazy. I have never heard 65 snow and then melted snow like in one day.
It was
That's crazy.
It's the largest swing in recorded history in the state of Virginia. It was a 50-degree swing in one day.
50 degrees.
Yeah.
So what we've learned is Mother Nature is perimenopausal.
Yes.
That's what I hear you say.
Yes.
She needs hormone replacement therapy.
She does. She needs a little love and some care, maybe to be seen and known and listened to. We need to hold a little space for her so that maybe she'll just calm the heck down. That would be great.
I love it. Well, speaking of perimenopause, seriously, this was a topic that I wanted to talk about because I am just now getting all of my, like, I feel like I just got my welcome kit. You know, like, remember when they did the whole like 5th grade and you went and you watched your movie and the boys went and watched their movie?
Oh, yeah.
And you got a little period kit in case, you know.
Now imagine doing that in a Catholic school with nuns giving the talk.
No.
Yes. So informative.
So you're saying it was lovely. You would not change a thing.
It was basically, here is the drawer of supplies. Please come ask the nun if you need some. Like, if that would happen, hell would freeze over before any of us would have done that. But that was basically the talk. Boys are boys, girls are girls. And that's how God made us. And here's where the supply drawer is.
You and girls get a drawer.
Yes, we get a drawer.
So there sounds like there could be a lot of stories into that of what happened with the drawer and the nuns. That could be your next book, The Drawer and the Nuns.
Yeah. That'll be a bestseller.
That would off the shelves. You're welcome. You have that one for free.
Thank you.
Look at this. We're just spitting out amazing nuggets. So, okay. So yeah, they don't even, here's what I want to say, Mary. They don't give a talk though. Like when you go into this next phase of life, they give you the talk and they tell you all the things. And then they tell you, have babies, you do that, right? A lot, you try to, everybody tries to have a baby and you somehow they come out if you get them, if you don't, whatever. That's a whole thing all the time.
Yeah.
I had a hysterectomy at 36. That was a whole thing. So like, I didn't even know when I was going to go into menopause because everybody's like, oh, well, you won't have your cycle for a year. I'm like, I haven't had my cycle for 10 years. Like, what am I supposed to do? But we don't have a talk. They don't then separate you when you're 45 from the men.
No.
Is it because men don't change at 45? Is that what it is?
Actually, men have their own version of menopause. They really do
they?
have their own hormone fluctuation.
Really?
So, they don't get the talk either. Ours is a little bit more dramatic because what we do with our bodies has always been a little bit more. Like we are meant to hold another human being right within us, right? So, no, we didn't get the talk. You got to remember, so I am in my late 50s. I am what we call postmenopausal. So I've gone through the perimenopause. I had a partial hysterectomy at 35. And so I kept my ovaries and then I went into just regular perimenopause about at 37, 38, a little early, which is not unusual. And I was in that for a good 10 years before I began to see the change of the symptoms. So,
Really?
I asked my mom, you go to your mom, right?
Yeah,
Like,
right.
mom,
What else do you do?
my mother had 8 children in 10 years. Bless
So
her.
she was
I
taking a
had
nap when you woke her up and
pretty
said, "Could you
much.
talk to me about menopause?"
And I said, "So what were your symptoms?" Well, my mom never had a hot flash. My mother's one and only symptom of menopause was she had high cholesterol and high blood pressure, which she had never had in her life for about 5 years. And then it naturally rectified itself.
Is that a
It's a thing. It's an
that's a
actual thing.
thing?
Here's the thing. Right now, you have this huge influx of information about menopause. You are finally seeing the research being done to assist those of us that are perimenopausal and postmenopausal. And it's beautiful and it's wonderful. But our mothers didn't have that training. Their
No.
mothers didn't have that. And so it's up to us now, like as a woman in my late 50s, I get a call from my girlfriend who's 45 and she's like, what the heck do I do?
Yeah.
And my first answer is, first of all, if you're comfortable with your doctor, you really love your GYN, right? Because you no
Yeah.
longer need the OB part,
Right.
but just the GYN.
Yeah.
If you're comfortable, you go in and talk to them, right? And make sure that you feel listened to and supported because not every OBGYN is created equal. And so now, like I see a menopause specialist. She's a GYN who used to deliver babies, but then went back to school and learned all she could about menopause. And so now she is a specialist in that area. So the first thing they talk about, of course, is hormone replacement. It's not the same hormone replacement that our mothers took back in the 80s,
Right.
which had a side effect of breast cancer and other side effects. But it's a different one. And so it's safer. Then you've got the whole idea of cortisol and the adrenals being supported.
Yeah, what is all that? Explain that to me. What is
Well, your
cortisol and adrenals?
cortisol is okay. Now, just FYI, I'm not a doctor. I'm
No,
not.
you just play one on TV.
I just play one on TV, and this is just from my own personal experience. So
Mary,
women hold on.
you're everyone's best aunt. You know what I mean? Like you're Aunt Mary. So can we just say that? Is that
There you
okay?
go. I am your Aunt Mary, and this
Yeah.
is my
You're
experience.
the cool aunt that everybody wants to like not go ask the nun or the mom. They were like, we'll go
No,
ask
don't
Aunt
ask the nun.
Mary. She'll
There
tell
you go.
us.
I'll tell you the truth.
Yeah.
So cortisol is created when we are in fight or flight. Okay. And
Well, I
many
got
of
a lot of
us
that.
in our young lives, like I had a child who had severe disabilities. And for 22 years, I cared for Courtney every single day. And I never knew if today was going to be the last day, right? You just never knew. So I was in serious fight or flight. My husband was in the military, add that onto it, for decades. And so it was always challenging to me to lose weight. And I carry my weight in the belly, right? And that is classic cortisol weight.
Mm.
So what happened was I entered into perimenopause. I started doing research about my hormones and how out of whack they are. There are blood tests that can tell you how out of whack you are. And I started combining functional health with traditional Western medicine. And then I added in some not neuropathy, homeopathy as well to that because I was diagnosed as being a type 2 diabetic, gosh, 15 years ago.
Wow.
And so that affects your hormones and your cortisol.
Did your
So it's just,
diabetes, did your sugar change when you went
it did.
into okay, because that's what's happening with me because I'm a type 2 diabetic. We have a
Hmm.
lot in common. For
We do.
those who don't know Mary and I, we have a lot in common, except I adore her. And I'm
Oh,
working on me. I'm working on it. But you, I
and
already
I
love.
adore you as well, my friend.
But I love you to pieces. But yeah, I mean, I've seen a difference in my sugar. I've seen a
Mhm.
difference in my cholesterol. I've seen a difference in all these things. And but I'm not seeing a specialist. So I need to find that.
Yeah, that would be helpful.
That would be
I know for
helpful.
me, there are a lot of supplements that you can take that you can do research on. I found that taking butyrate and an adrenal support to heal the gut, because we have to remember this is what people are just now beginning to talk about.
Yeah.
Your gut is your second brain,
Right. That's what
right?
they
So when
say.
we can heal our gut with a pre, post, and probiotic, and we can get our gut and the inflammation down, which is your cortisol, then things begin to change, right?
I
It's
love
not a
that.
weight problem, it's a hormone problem
Yeah.
because cortisol is a hormone that we create.
Okay.
So it's just it's a matter of finding the right practitioner that can assist you, whether it be Western medicine, whether it be Eastern medicine, or homeopathic or functional medicine, or a combination of all three. There's so much more information out there to help you. You
Yeah.
are not going crazy. Things
Yeah.
are changing in your body because you're coming out of a time when your entire focus of your body was to make those babies.
Right.
And now you're
We're
entering a
done.
new season.
Yeah.
And men go through a very similar thing. Their testosterone drops. You see them losing their hair, right?
Right.
Male pattern baldness, that's
Yeah.
because the testosterone is off. And so they go through their own kind of change as
Change.
well. So yeah, you have to be, I mean, my husband and I have been married for 38 years. There's been a lot of adjustment that we've made to each other as far as our intimate life is concerned, as far as our physical health is concerned. When you have a lot less time in front of you than behind you, like your priorities change.
Yeah.
So,
For sure.
midlife is now considered like 40s is midlife because
Yeah.
the average lifespan is 77, 78 years old.
Yeah. That's it. And it's exactly. And so you get to decide, well, let me ask you this since it's just the two of us in the living room and nobody else is listening. That intimate thing, let's go back to that real quick because
Mhm.
who's going to talk about it? Nobody, but Mary and I will.
We
We'll
will.
talk about it. So intimacy in your midlife, can you get it back to
Yes.
what it was?
Okay, it's not going to be what it was. We
Okay,
have to
nobody's
let
gonna be
go of that.
18 again. Well, I wasn't doing anything at 18. Okay, I was
Yeah.
married at 22. All right, so
There you
nobody's
go.
gonna be 22 again.
I don't want to see, here's the thing. I don't want to be 22.
I don't either.
You have to go for quality over quantity.
Oh, that's
Okay.
nice. I like that, Mary.
So you have to think about for a woman, from my understanding and from my reading, and again, personal experience, sex is 90% in your head.
Yeah, for
Like you
women,
have to
for sure.
relax your body,
Yeah.
be in a state of calm. There can't be any kind of frustration or agitation between you and your spouse. It just doesn't, especially as we get older, it's just harder to kind of push your way through that.
Yeah.
When you're
White
young,
knuckle
you've got
it.
the hormonal support that could
Yeah.
do that. Now it's really a mental game and it's a connection game. It's a communication game, right? You
Yeah.
have to talk to each other because your body is changing. Like
Yeah.
this body is not the body of a 22-year-old bride. This body is not the body of the 45-year-old. This is a 58-year-old. And things that used to live in Maine now live in New Mexico. And it's just a situation, okay? And I have to
Hey.
say their bodies change too, right?
Yeah.
And
Yes.
the
And men
muscle
don't
mass
like to say
changes,
that, but
all
they
of it.
do.
They do.
Yes, they might
They're
have
still
it might be
cute.
more
I still
Kentucky is in Georgia, but it's
There
still
you go.
something.
something is
Yeah.
moving. So it's a matter of connection with one another.
Yeah.
There's a lot more conversation. Things take a little bit longer. We're not rushing to the goalpost. We're taking our time for a nice slow walk through the garden, and it's beautiful.
Yes.
And it's just,
It
I mean, it's
is.
beautiful. Jerry and I have faced a lot of trauma in our intimate
Yeah.
life.
Yeah.
Early in our marriage, I found he was addicted to pornography. And out
Yes.
of fear of losing him, I entered that addiction with him for 7 years. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of trauma in our marriage around that intimate act. And so as the Lord was healing us and healing our marriage and healing that for us, we didn't have a lot of great connection during that time. It was just
Mm.
hard. It was hurtful. It was painful. It was just nobody wanted anything to do with anything. But now, as we're on the other side of this situation, he's been sober for 25 years or more, as have I. Um,
I
and
love that.
so
Congratulations.
Thank you. And
Yeah.
so, that's God. That's
That's
God.
God. That is
And
God.
he has restored our marriage bed and he's restored that relationship. And so now it is even more precious to us, not just because we're aging, but because we fought for it. We fought to remain married. We fought to fall in love again with the true people that we are, not with the ones that we brought to our marriage that we thought were not good enough, but with the ones that are, you stand in front of each other. I mean, it's the most intimate thing we can do as humans. And there's nothing you can hide in that moment. Not in your
No.
heart, not physically, it's
Uh-uh.
all there. And so to be able to enter into that in middle age as we get older, it's a beautiful thing. It's a privilege.
It is.
I every time that we're able to be with one another, um, I think of it as miraculous. It's like everything still works and it's beautiful
It
and
is.
wonderful. And you wanna, it's kind of like, what came to my mind now, not to be sacrilegious or scandalous, please, Lord. But like the transfiguration, like they want to stay in the mountain. This is such a powerful moment.
Sure.
You want to stay there.
Sure.
And when you're with your spouse and it's a powerful
Yes.
moment, you want to stay there.
Of course.
Unfortunately, we can't.
No.
We have to go back to life. But the other thing is that you have to learn. Like the garden is very arid in that season, very dry, and so you have to um
Be
you just
creative. You
have to
have
be
to,
gentle with
yeah,
one
miracle
another
grow.
and exactly. And there are things that are natural that you can do to help with
Yeah.
that slow um
Yeah.
walk.
Yes, I love that. No, but that's true. I mean,
Yeah.
there's seasons. This is a season. It's a different
Yep.
season. And winter does not look the same as summer. And it's
No.
not supposed to.
No.
And you don't fertilize the same in winter the same way that you do in summer. I mean,
Amen.
that's why it's the perfect metaphor. And we shouldn't be ashamed to talk about it because God created our bodies this way and he created
Yeah.
marriage. He knew, well, if they're going to stick this out, and they start in their 20s and they're in their 50s, 60s, 70s, God willing, yeah, it's going to evolve and you
Yeah.
evolve together.
Yes.
That is the intimacy also, is that you're growing into this new space, into this new, and discovering, well, all right, how do we work things here? you know, what do we
And you can have fun
keeps
with
it
it,
fresh?
right? It's,
Yeah.
I mean, you remember when, well, okay, I'll just speak for myself. When we were young, it would
Yes.
be like, this is so fun. This is so
Yeah.
that. And now it's like,
What does this do? Yeah.
what is exactly? And now it's like, oh, I remember that. Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Okay. Sure.
That's lovely. It's just a different conversation.
It
It has a
is.
different intensity to it. But
Sure.
the emotional connection
Yes.
is so much more important than even the physical allows you to be. Like there will come a time, I know, in our married life where that won't happen. Like
Sure.
it won't be possible
Right.
for health reasons or physicality or what have you. And I remember talking with my GYN, and she is in her mid to late 60s. And she's like, oh, the memories are beautiful. And I'm like,
Oh.
oh, okay.
So we
So we're
get
going to
to
go to
just
memories. And she's
memories.
like, no, she goes, it's not a bad thing, Mary. It's the evolution. We keep
Wow.
trying to stay in our 20s and in our 30s, and we keep, we think of plastic surgery, you think of all these medical and cosmetic things that are happening. Everybody, that fountain of youth. And the fountain of youth was never meant to be.
Right.
We were meant to evolve. We were meant to go forward. We're meant to have wrinkles. We're meant to, the body changes. What we want is to be strong and
Yes.
as healthy as possible so that we can serve in the mission field where the Lord has placed us for as long as possible.
Exactly.
And that includes in our marriages. So
Yeah. And growing old together. I love that, we find that we've romanticized, like The Notebook or, these other films where they're like, oh, we're going to grow old together. And it's like, do you understand what growing old together is? It's depends. And it's,
yeah,
it's eating food that's mushy. And it's a lot like, let's be real. There's a reality to it. Just as when you're having babies, you're like, oh, we're going to have a baby. Like it's this magical, it poops yellow, for at least 8 weeks. You know what I mean? It's like mustard and nobody knows why. It's just
yeah.
whatever. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's like we romanticize these things. And then when they're actually happening, I think it's interesting that we get like offended, like, how dare
Like,
this
how
baby wake
dare
up
this
all
happen to
night?
me?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like,
I was with
what?
my
A
mom
baby.
happens to be turning 85 in 2 weeks.
God bless.
She has been a
Wow.
widow
That's
for
beautiful.
25 years.
Wow.
And so she misses
Mm.
that conversation every night. She misses the hand holding in a walk. She misses those things of being with my dad. But this is a woman who's smart as a tack.
Yeah.
There is, now her knees, not the best, her feet bothering her.
Yeah.
Her strength, her physical strength, much less. But she still walks every day. She swims all the time. She's doing everything she can
Wow.
so that she can go to church every morning and pray and say the rosary so that she can go and serve when there's a funeral at the church and she's part of the potluck committee. So she can go and spend time with her now great grandchildren and, have the energy to do it. So, yeah, there is a romanticism that we kind of, I think because we're afraid. We're
We are
afraid to
afraid.
look at the truth of what it is.
Right.
And there comes a point in your life where the truth just stares you straight down in the face, and you have to either accept it and do your best to live within it, or spend the
Ex
rest of your life getting Botox and
Yeah.
freeze dry your double chin and I don't know, whatever else happens.
Whatever else everybody's paying money to do.
Yeah.
No, but you're so right. It's so beautiful. And I think it's time for us as a society. What I would like us to do is to embrace that, just like you do embrace a baby, and that is still beautiful. Although it cries all night and it poops yellow and it does all the things and it, spits up and all this stuff. We still love the baby. We don't say, well, I'm done with this, 99% of people don't. They keep the baby and they keep going. I would love to see us embrace this next chapter, this older chapter of life and say, this is beautiful. Just like the desert is just as beautiful as the ocean.
Yeah.
I was in Jordan and we went to the Wadi Rum, and that's where they filmed Indiana Jones and all the Star Wars films. I was geeking out. I mean, I have 3 brothers, right? So I was like, this is amazing. And it was beautiful. It was breathtaking. Now, it's not the Alps, it's not whatever, but it's got this different beauty to it, and it is something to cherish, and I'm so glad that I love that you said that your mom does these things so she can keep worshiping God. Like, I've
Yeah.
never thought of that before. I never thought about my responsibility with my body and with my health and with the time on this planet is that I need to continue that in order so I can continue to say a rosary or go to mass or do that. Like, that's a beautiful thing, Mary.
Well, you think of it, when you go to church, if you ever go during the week, especially up toward the front, there's always this little group of women and
Yeah.
some men as well, gray hair,
Yeah, of course.
lots of wrinkles. There's a cane, there's a walker, whatever. And they're there. And I swear they hold the corners of the church with their prayers.
Yeah,
I just feel like to age is a gift. It is a gift to get
it
old.
is a gift.
It is a gift to be able to still go out of your house and go and do the things that you desire to do. It is a gift to continue to grow and learn. It is a gift, especially as women. You know, we always hear about the Proverbs 31 woman, like she's
Yeah.
got her servants doing all the things and she's making the flax garments and she's got the, all the things going on. And there's a season for that. But
Yeah.
right now, I'm in the Titus 2 womanhood. And that is a woman who has grown with age and wisdom, right?
Mm.
And my job at this season of my life is to hold space and to be able to look at a young woman in her teens, 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s even, and to be able to say to them with all sincerity and all truth, it is beautiful. This season of life is beautiful. And I have so much more to offer. I feel like I'm just getting started because of everything I've learned. And you don't want to keep that learning to yourself.
Yeah.
That's not what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to reach behind us and grab the hand of another woman and say, see this mountain we're going up? We're going up together and we can do it when we're together. So come on, and I learn, like tomorrow night, I will be at a local university here speaking to their Versati Society. I'll be around 19, 20-year-olds. And you're like, what does this old lady have to tell me? Sit down, little girl. I got a lot to tell you. Okay. I got a lot to tell you about all these things that you're worried about, which I
Yeah.
get and I hear and I honor. I am not disregarding them at all, but I'm telling you, they do not, what you do is not who you are. What you have done is not who you are. Your greatest shame is not greater than the love that God has for you.
Yeah.
And we, in this society that we live in now, where everything's behind a phone, and people are rude and people are mean and people are lonely and they feel unseen. It has to be said even louder how much God loves you and how beautiful you are, and that he has brought you to this season, whatever season it is. And there is a purpose and a reason for you being here right now in the situation you're in. And if you lean on him and you learn to hear his voice, then he's going to tell you exactly why, and he's going to give you your marching orders. And then it's up to us to either be obedient or to turn our face.
Yeah.
And as hard as being, to be obedient, as hard as that is, it ends so much better.
Oh, I love that. That's the message that I want people to hear from you. I think that that's what you do. And you and Jerry, you said earlier that you emotionally connect, in this, you have an intimacy now that you're in this chapter. I love how we romanticize it in this chapter of life. And one of the things that you two do that you share with the rest of the world is you like to share that you watch movies and that you do this together. And it's something that you do together. It's something that you share on the internet. And a lot of it is Hallmark. A lot of it is, I don't know if you're doing, what's the other company?
Great American.
Great American, all that. And so for people who don't know this side of you, which I don't know how they don't, but if they don't, just by chance, could you bring me back to when did this start? When did this intimate, beautiful, emotional connection that you guys decided to share with the world that you do?
So the one thing that you can always find in a Hallmark Christmas movie, it started with Hallmark Christmas movies, and now it goes year round, but it started with that. The one thing you can always find is bells ringing. Okay.
Oh,
So when our daughter Courtney was alive, in every Christmas movie, we would sit and we would watch. Now, Courtney was blind, so she couldn't see the movie, but she could hear it. And she always laughed when bells rung. And so we would sit on the sofa, and it was a safe movie. There was nothing untoward in it. And she would just laugh every time she heard the bells. And so Courtney passed away in 2014.
how old was she?
She was 22 years old.
22. Okay.
And so the next Christmas, the Christmas movies come around, and we just couldn't.
Yeah.
I had zero interest in watching. It was too much.
Sure.
And so it was a few years. And then in 2000, I think it was 2018, we started watching them again. And, Instagram had just come out with their stories, and they were 30-second little clips on your stories. And so one night we shared our review of this Christmas movie. And Jerry was comparing the Christmas movie to an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie.
Of course he was.
Because
That is
he's
the most
Jerry.
Jerry thing I've ever heard.
There you go. And being a guy of the 80s, this is what he was doing. And people they were like, when's the next review? And so we looked at each other and we watched another Christmas movie, a new Christmas movie the next weekend. And it got some traction. And over the years, people start in October direct messaging us, when's the first Christmas review? This past year, for whatever reason, it popped off and went viral.
No.
Oh, yeah. We were on Yahoo
What?
Entertainment.
You were not.
We were.
I didn't know I was talking to a celebrity. Okay, Beyonce,
Yeah.
what are we doing?
Yahoo Entertainment because of the story of why we started watching them and why we now we do it in honor of Courtney. And a lot of the times
cool.
as we're watching, I'll be like, Courtney would have been really disappointed. The bells only rang once. Like, we need at least a 3-bell movie. So,
that's hilarious.
It's kind of like an homage to her, but also like there's so much out in the world in media that is not family friendly and is not faith friendly in any way, shape, or form. And so anytime that we can support something that goes along with aligns with our beliefs as Roman Catholics, then I want to be able to shout it and say, this is a great movie. You will love this movie. Now, some of them are so bad. So bad that
so they really
awesome.
They really are so bad.
They are so bad that they're awesome. You have to watch them because it's a train wreck.
Okay.
And you just have to just laugh. And those are the ones that are the most popular. People are like, oh my gosh, you were right. It was an utter train wreck, but I was laughing so hard because it was just so cheesy. Like, they bring the clock of cheese all the way around that you just have to watch.
That's amazing.
And it's fun. It's lighthearted. It's something we do together.
Yeah.
And now we've gone through the Valentine's movies. Now we're into the spring movies.
Oh, so you're still doing them. You do them all year now.
Our people.
Your people
continue.
Give the people what they want, Mary.
I'm trying. They want a lot of things, Liv. And I'm tired.
I was gonna say, friend, you got like I commend you for that, because that's a lot. I mean, that's a commitment.
It is.
That might even be harder than marriage, to sit and say, I'm going to watch these movies all the time.
The whole point of them is really, it's not about me.
Yeah.
It's just Jerry's reaction.
Is it amazing?
Because Jerry is white man yells at sky. He is super conservative, super grumpy, super like, this is the most ridiculous and dumb thing. If my father ever saw this, he would be like, Jerry Dodd, why do you know, I mean, this is what he does. Yeah. And so when he's watching them, like, the cringe factor is so good that you just have to laugh. I just laugh the whole time. I just watch him and I'm like, it was good, wasn't it? And then there are times where he gets really invested in the movie and he's 3/4 of the way through the movie. And as he's gotten older, he's gotten a little bit of a softer heart. And he's like, I swear, if they don't fix this soon,
they don't get together.
I'm like, the one thing you can always count on with a Hallmark or Great American film is that we'll have a happy ending, Jerry. Have no fear. In the last 5 minutes, it will all get tied up into a neat little package. Boom, it's done, which is the downfall of many of these movies. But it's just a lot of fun. It's something that we do together.
Yeah.
It's, we laugh. We just enjoy it.
Yeah. Well, and have you seen how the kids these days, the hot 20-year-olds or whatever, how they do like a reaction video where they watch? Yes. Have you all done that with Jerry yet? Have you put a camera on him? Yet. I feel like that's where you need to up your game. I feel like this is where you go next. So,
and when a 20-year-old would like to come in and tell us how to do that.
Sure.
Then we would be happy to do that.
I bet your public has somebody. I bet there's somebody that's going to be at your door, very scary, and that'll be fine. But one day we'll have to watch the reaction ourselves, because I can't imagine Jerry watching these films.
It's pretty epic.
He's so fun. But the two of you together, and I think that's also what's so great is that, I didn't even know that you went viral and that you're, Yahoo Entertainment. That's so cool, first of all.
It was, okay, when they first emailed us.
Cool. You must have thought that was a joke. Did you think it was a joke?
And I emailed them back and I said, this is a very good fake. I am so impressed with whoever doing this in China or Pakistan. You're awesome.
High five.
Exactly. And then I'm like, sincerely, Mary. And then they actually emailed back and they're like, no, actually, here's the link. And this is who I am. And you can find my things here. And she sent a little video introducing herself. And I was like, oh, you're real. You're real. Oh.
We're not used to that. Now with AI and everything, I
No.
mean,
And
how do
so
you
we had a
know?
Zoom interview, and then it was
Oh,
on Yahoo Entertainment, and we got thousands of new followers, and
I bet. I bet. And people love
it
it.
is what it is. Now we're putting out that, to Hallmark and to Great American, we had several of the actors and actresses from these movies begin to follow us because we were
No.
reviewing their movies. Yes. So now our big goal is that we want to be the innkeepers on one of these movies or the grandparents. Like, just to go. I mean, come on, wouldn't that
I
be awesome?
would die. If you meet Candace Cameron Bure,
She follows us.
I can't talk to you.
And so
DJ
does
Tanner,
Danica McKellar. We've been
stop
chatty
it.
in direct messages. She's a lovely, lovely woman.
I didn't even know
So
this, Mary. I didn't
I
even know this.
it's
I
so
would have
fun.
started a podcast months ago. That's incredible.
It's when you're kind to people,
I
like
love it.
we love
I
most of
love
her
it.
movies, but a couple of them we have been like, and she came back and she's like, really? You didn't like that one? This was my favorite part. And I'm like, and I'm
Sorry.
so glad it was your favorite part. It was not our favorite part. Smiley face, smiley face, like,
And
but
that's
we
what's
love
so great.
you.
But that's what's so great being in your late 50s. You can say that, whereas like maybe 22-year-old, you would be like, oh yeah, no, sorry. I didn't mean to like.
Yeah, no, I'm not apologizing for
No.
tanking your movie. It was awful, but I love you. And I think you're talented. And if you have a great script and a great story,
Yeah.
you knock it out of the park. But
Yeah, for sure.
it's never I don't think it's always about the acting. I think it's about the story that they get. And because some of these actors are just tremendous.
Fabulous.
And, they've been doing this for a long time.
Yeah.
And like the one that Candace Cameron Bure was in with her daughter, where she traveled in time. Like, that was
Yes.
one of the best movies I saw of everything last year. Because
Fabulous.
the chemistry was awesome and the story was believable. And the other actors and actresses that supported her, including her daughter, who won an award for that role,
I didn't know that.
was
Wow.
awesome. So like,
Yeah.
we need more of that.
We do. We need more of that. And do you have a favorite? Because I actually have a favorite Hallmark film. I actually have one. It's in their Gold Crown collection. Do you know what that is?
Yes, I do.
We're totally geeking out. Well, we've lost every male. If we didn't lose all the male listeners with perimenopause, they're gone now.
They're gone now.
They've been gone. They're like, we didn't even turn this on. But yeah, okay. Do you have a favorite? My mom's is the Times of Ordinary Days or the whatever of Ordinary Days.
That's not a Christmas movie, but
No,
that is one
not
of my
Christmas.
favorite movies.
Yeah,
Yes,
with Carrie
that's really
Russell.
good.
I think
It
it's
was
Carrie Russell.
a Hallmark
Crown.
on Sundays. Remember when they used to do the
Yes.
Hallmark movies? Yeah.
Yes, the
It was one
whatever
of
of
those.
Ordinary Days. My
Yes.
favorite is Loving Leia. I don't know if you've seen Loving
I
Leia.
love that movie. I love it. I have it on DVD. I love it
I
so
have it on
much.
DVD.
Yes, everyone, we are those people.
That is a great film.
It's a great film. And it's a
It's a
great story.
great film.
It has great chemistry with the actors.
Brilliant.
And it's a coming of age story,
Yeah.
but told in such a unique way.
It's fabulous. It is so fantastic. I mean, my kids have grown up watching Loving Leia, and their friends are like, we don't know those words that you're saying. And I'm like, it's
They're
Lauren
missing out.
Ambrose. And it is, and then they have Michael Bublé singing in it, and it's just fabulous.
It is.
So, yeah.
My favorite, though, that's
what is your
hard one.
favorite? Yeah, Loving Leia is my favorite. The Magic of Ordinary Days. That's
The
what it's
Magic of
called.
Ordinary
The Magic
Days
of Ordinary Days is my mom's. Yes.
is really great. I love there's one called Silver Bells,
Oh.
and it's with Anne Heche, who has now passed away.
Yeah.
And this was before her, in between her typical life and her kind of gone off the deep end life in real life.
Right.
And it's about a young man who runs away, and he wants to be, he's on a Christmas tree farm, and they come to bring the trees to New York City, and he decides he doesn't want to go back to the farm. He wants to be a photographer. He wants to be in the city. And so he runs away. And for a whole year, he's in the city, and he takes these pictures of different places in the city. And Anne Heche plays a newspaper editor, and she hires him to take to kind of do a scavenger hunt, and that's how the family ends up reuniting again.
Oh,
And he's
wow.
learned a lot of things, and she's learned something as his mentor because she didn't know he was a runaway. And it's just a beautiful story
That's
of
beautiful.
kind of reclaiming the season and of family, and I love that one. It was back in the somewhere in the 2000s,
Okay, I'm
but
gonna look that
yeah,
one
it's
up
one
for
of my
sure.
favorites.
No, that's fantastic. So, do you have any practical tips or like resources for couples, no matter how old they are, whether they've been married 10 minutes or they've been married 100 years? Are there any go-to favorites? Like my parents, their favorite book, well, I should say my father. My father's favorite book to recommend to people is His Needs, Her Needs. I don't know if you ever read
Oh,
that one.
that's a good one.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But do you have anything that are some of your go-tos for
I can't
or at different places in marriage?
So, Sex and Marriage by
Yeah,
Christopher West,
good
great,
one.
great one.
Yeah.
And we learned from that one early, later. I mean, it didn't come into our marriage until it was published, and we were already married at that point. So, but we really use that a lot when we mentor young couples.
Yeah.
There's also another one called Marriage. I think, and I don't remember the author, but the cover is black and it's big bold print, and it's written by a Christian author who holds no bars, like just calls out a lot of things. And I wish I can see the cover now, but
If we could just
my
look in your brain,
postmenopausal brain is not telling me what the name of it is.
that's fine. It's
But
called
it's an
Marriage.
excellent book.
It's a good
Anything
one.
having to do with theology of the body is
Yeah,
a win.
for sure.
You know,
No,
that's
absolutely.
what healed our marriage. To understand that the body is a gift, your sexuality is a gift, the sex that God assigned you at birth is not a mistake, it
Yeah,
is a gift,
right.
and, anyone who tells you otherwise is lying to you.
Yeah.
And it's just in today's world where there's so much that has gone so wrong, when it comes to our sexual identity, male and female, I think we have to go back to what the church has taught us because the dignity of the human person is forefront in who we are as Christians and Catholics.
Yeah. We've been created with tremendous intention.
Amen.
Yeah, absolutely. Friend, when a guest is leaving our time, I always ask if there's something we could be praying for you. Is there any way that we could support you, pray for you that you're needing in your life at this time?
You know, I always appreciate prayers for my ministry when I go out and get on a plane and go talk to people. There's a lot that goes into that, people think it's very glamorous and exciting, and there are
Yeah, there are
very
moments.
moments that are glamorous and exciting. Um, uh, but I would say that's maybe 5% of the
Yeah,
entire trip. So prayers for that. And I know Jerry and I have been really prayerfully, with intention, praying about um, a new ministry for the two of us, a marriage ministry. Not sure what it's going to be called, not sure what it's going to look like, but the Lord has been calling to us, both of us separately. And now we brought it to our prayer life together as a couple.
good.
So I know that he's working there, and I just don't know what yet. So we're just going to leave that in his hands until he's ready to put the big sign up and say, "Hey, y'all, this is what you're doing."
Sends an email from a real person, not an
Yes,
AI bot.
please.
That would be nice. We
I'll
can
take a
pray for
neon
that
sign.
for
Thank you.
sure. For sure. Mary, thank you so much for this time. Every time I spend with you, I learn, I get so many amazing pieces of wisdom. We are just blessed to have you. So don't stop being you and doing all the things that you do. I love you to pieces. And I can't wait till I get to see and hug your neck. So whenever
I
that
know.
is.
It's always such a joy to be with you, Liv, and thank you
Oh,
so much. I'm so excited for you in this new project. It's going to be great.
thanks. Love you, friend. Mwah.